Reflections on the Good News of Jesus Christ for the Feast of the Ascension from the Gospel according to Mark. Jesus said to his disciples, "Go into the whole world and proclaim the gospel to every creature. Whoever believes and is baptized will be saved. Whoever does not believe will be condemned. These signs will accompany those who believe. In my name, they will drive out demons. They will speak new languages. They will pick up serpents with their hands, and if they drink any deadly thing, it will not harm them. They will lay hands on the sick, and they will recover." So then the Lord Jesus, after he spoke to them, was taken up into heaven and took his seat at the right hand of God. But they went forth and preached everywhere, while the Lord worked with them and confirmed the word through accompanying signs. The good news of the Lord. I can't help but wonder what the apostles were feeling as they had to confront the sudden absence of Jesus, the one who over 3 years had become the center of their lives, the one who gave new meaning and purpose and direction to their lives, was gone. What would their lives be like now? Jesus was there, and then he was gone, but not without leaving them with words that seemed to make no sense. Go into the whole world and proclaim the gospel to every creature. How were they supposed to do that? They were, or had been, fishermen, farmers, tax collectors, not orators, not teachers, and certainly not healers. At least Jesus could have left them a handbook or set of instructions, something that would tell them how to go about this business. But no, just go into the whole world and proclaim the gospel to every creature. You and I, indeed all those who claim to follow Jesus, are the descendants of those disciples and the inheritors of those directives. But once again, how are we to do it? Here's one answer: how a group of high school students in Detroit are doing it in a unique ministry of compassion. Juniors and seniors at the University of Detroit Jesuit High School serve as pallbearers for the funerals of veterans who have no family, friends, or old Army buddies to mourn their passing. Sometimes the veterans are elderly who have survived all their family and friends, but often they are homeless and die on the streets. The students' service as pallbearers begins before the funeral, when they meet to pray for the deceased. They then travel to the funeral home by student carpool, take part in the funeral rites, carry the casket to the church or grave, and participate in the committal prayers. After returning to school, the students reflect prayerfully on their experience. The program began when 6 seniors served as pallbearers at the Great Lakes National Cemetery for the funerals of 3 unclaimed veterans. The students learned that there are some 50,000 homeless veterans in America, or to put it another way, right now, the number of homeless Vietnam-era veterans is greater than the number of American military personnel who died during that war. And now, sadly, veterans who served in Iraq and Afghanistan are appearing among the homeless population. So moved were the student pallbearers that day that they organized other students to serve. 50 teenagers signed up and took the training course provided by local funeral homes. The students have served as pallbearers at funerals not only for veterans, but also for the poor and for the elderly who have no surviving family members. One student said of that first experience, "The men we honored today put their lives on the line for our country, and now they deserve our dignity and service in return." Another student said that we kind of represent the family that is not there to be with them. And that is, I think, a great privilege. In their generous and thoughtful assistance, these students are doing the kind of service that Jesus says will be characteristic of all those who follow him, all those who bear the name Christian. The students are responding with compassion to the plight of the veterans and poor. They enter their sorrow and help them bear their pain. Compassion is the ability to put ourselves in the place of someone else and readily take on with them their suffering, despair, and brokenness, and transform their pain and struggle into hope and healing. Jesus calls each one of us to be bearers of compassion and care in our own cities and towns. By God's grace, we too can be the means of healing and hope in our simplest and most ordinary offers of help and support to those who are broken in body or spirit. Pamela Addison never expected to be a widow at the age of 36. But then came the day when she held her 6-month-old son and 2-year-old daughter and watched helplessly as paramedics rushed her husband, Martin, to the hospital. It was the last time Pamela would see her husband alive. Martin Addison died 26 days later of COVID-19. It was a devastatingly frightening time for the young wife and mother. But a few days later, she received a sympathy card from another young widow whose husband had died of the virus just weeks before. "You are not alone," the card read. Pamela was soon in contact with the card's sender, Christina Scorpo. Not long after, the two now single moms launched a Facebook support group, Young Widows and Widowers of COVID-19, for women and men like them struggling as single parents in the isolation brought on by the pandemic. The group soon had more than 400 members across the country and the United Kingdom. "We didn't plan on this," Christina says. "We didn't plan to be widowed at 36 or 33. We didn't plan to raise our kids without our partners that we saw a future with." The members of the group are especially welcoming to those who have just lost their husbands or wives. As Pamela explains, when it feels hopeless, like there isn't going to be happiness again or joy, I feel like we can help them. Even if they're not where I am now, I can still support them. And that's healing for me, too. Just like the teenage pallbearers in Detroit, what these two women have done is the type of work Jesus challenges all of us to take on. In every kindness we offer, in every word of encouragement and comfort we utter, in every moment we spend listening and supporting, we proclaim the risen Jesus' gospel of compassion, mercy, and reconciliation. Every good work, however small or hidden, is a spark of the light of the risen Christ in our midst. After the Ascension, those apostles had to learn how to live without the physical presence of the one who had become the most important person in their lives. It's a lesson many people must learn. And in times like that, people may need help. Perhaps our help. Go into the whole world and proclaim the gospel to every creature. I wonder how you and I will be called by Jesus to respond to that directive this week. Thanks for listening.